I'm ready.
Okay, I just got to make sure, brother. Because here it is. Show me the money.
We live.
We are live.
I'm Jason. This is Elliot.
What's up? I'm Elliot.
This is Keith.
Hey, this is Keith.
And welcome to our podcast.
That's right.
Very first one, episode 1. It's going to be really, I don't know what you call it, rough.
Yeah, rough, but hey, I'm excited to chop it up,
Yeah.
see what comes out, and discuss some hot topics that are
So
going on right
what
now.
were you just talking about? Zillow has a bunch of listings going on the market.
So yeah, and just, always looking at the data, path is math kind of thing. Opendoor and Offerpad currently have 94 active listings, with Zillow, to my surprise, has 163 active listings as we speak for this data.
So how many of those are dropping the price?
Right? That's one of those things that they need to add in to the MLS, is be able to what is the price drop.
I'd be pretty nervous right now if we use Zillow Offerpad or Opendoor right now.
I'd be nervous to be holding 163 listings, I'll tell you that.
That's what I was about to say. Normally you'd be like, damn, they're killing it. But right now you actually want a little bit. I mean, you want the listings, that way you want them to sell, but to carry that type of inventory due to the whole COVID-19 right now is.
So the question was, a lot of people was like, well, what are these iBuyers going to do when the market's bad? Well,
Right.
we got thrusted right into that right now. So
Well, and I
guess we'll see.
It is definitely a teaser as far as that goes. I mean, clearly this a virus-infested market is different than the downturn market. With that said,
It could cause a downturn.
it absolutely could, So another little interesting tidbit here on the Zillow numbers, which this isn't bad. They have 98 houses under contract though, so that means they have actually roughly 260 houses in their inventory across the valley right now. So I mean, at least they're moving and shaking on some of them, but I mean that's still
Still a lot of active properties, and they stopped offering, right?
They stopped offering.
Does anyone know when they're going to start back?
Well, there's some speculation of when they're supposed to be starting back, and I know that's going to be supposedly around the turn of the month, but
But we don't know if that's everybody.
Right.
Could be, I think what will happen is one of them will start dipping back into the market, and then the other institutional buyers are going to start probably paying attention
They're
to
gonna have to, right?
which one first comes back in the market, and seeing what's working and what's not working.
And then I would imagine that their risk fees are going to be really high.
Well, and that's it. From our inside sources, we already have confirmed that 100% when they start making offers again, the service fees are going to be exponentially
We
high.
have inside sources.
We do, man.
Oh, man.
We've been at this for a hot minute now. Just don't tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody. Oh, like another little stat as far as comparing them directly. Opendoor and Offerpad both have 86 houses under contract. So they have 94 active and 86 under contract. So those numbers are at least decently balanced as far as that
I wish
goes.
I had 86 listings.
Hey.
We've
We've been there before, but
No, I would not want to own 86 homes.
Stressed out right now.
I just want 86 listings.
Yeah, this is, yeah. So, and then another, I just read this article that JP Morgan Chase is tightening their mortgage lending standards. They are now requiring a 700 credit score and 20% down for mortgages.
that is insane to me.
And a lot of people are going to
20%
qualify.
down
So does
with
that
a
mean that
700 credit
So
score?
does that mean they're not doing FHAs?
That's what that would mean.
That's what so Chase is not doing FHA loans right now.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what that. Wow. Did you know that FHA actually just upped their requirement to I don't remember if it was a 660 or a 640. That blew me away.
It was a 660.
Yeah, 660. Like, I mean, obviously FHA doesn't have their credit minimums, but in order for them to sell off that particular loan, the investors will not buy that loan unless their FICO is 660. So that's insane.
What that's telling me is that the banks they're putting their feet in the ground, going, wait a minute, all right, what's going to happen?
They are surveying the scene like crazy right now.
We got high uncertainty right now.
I mean, I get it, but that just creates even more uncertainty for even as close
Stops
as
the
the recent
money flow.
future of 2 weeks, because you're still gonna have people out there that wanna buy a home because rates still are low, and maybe they're like, you know, in a couple weeks, maybe they can, you know, get a house below this price, and it still makes sense for them. Well, you don't have a 680, 700 credit score, you have the perfect profile, they just shopped a massive market completely out.
Yep.
That's a little scary.
Yep. Well,
So let's go ahead, Jay.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say let's dive into, you know, one of the topics that, you know, that we really wanted to hash up and discuss today, and that is, you know, really, why did they stop offering? A lot of people think, or, you know, I guess again, I'm not Rich Barton or Eric Wu, so I can't say, you know, for sure, Brian Bayer, so I can't say for sure why they, you know, pulled the plug on, you know, making official offers. Yet, being on the inside track, we certainly knew from a lot of our resources and other private, you know, other smaller institutional buyers that we work with directly, that we have direct sources to the CEOs and things of that nature, that their commercial lines of credit, commercial financing got shut off, right? A lot of that's the private, you know, equity, private capital type markets. All of that stuff got shut off. So all of their purchasing power pretty much was frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, it does make sense. I mean, you're talking about billions of dollars at, you know, I guess at stake, if you will, or from an investment perspective. They, you know, they're smart. Whether people, you know, there's been a lot of negative talk. Oh, see, we knew they wouldn't be around if in a downturn market. And like, come on, people. You think?
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Well,
it was
they're not around
definitely.
in an uncertain market.
Well,
Right.
it's the stock market volatility, right?
Yeah.
That's really what hit it, was the stock market volatility, which controls a lot of those private
And
markets.
it's also people losing jobs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, once people start to lose jobs, they start to not make their payments on their mortgages, and then they have to put their house on the market. And what happens when more houses go on the market? Prices
Competition,
start to come down.
prices come down.
So I think
So wait, you're
that's-
telling me if I go get a forbearance on my mortgage, that means I'm not making my payment? Is that what that means?
Well, I guess Fannie and Freddie are allowing, what is it, up to 6 months
Yeah.
of forbearance. Well, they're saying that the servicers are allowed to offer up to 6 months. That doesn't mean that each person gets 6 months. It means that they're allowed to offer 6 months.
Offer up to 6 months, right?
But what I'm reading is that after that 6 months is over, those individuals that took that forbearance have to pay that whole amount at that 6 months.
Really? Is that strapped in the back? I haven't.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I did read that. That's what a forbearance
A
is.
lump sum.
A deferment is where you defer the whole amount to the end of it, but a forbearance is where you forbear it to where the end of the forbearance is, and then you have to pay the whole amount.
Wow.
Which I don't know how they're going to deal with that, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be able to.
Hey, I'm gonna not make my mortgage payment so I can pay you 10 grand.
$20,000
Yeah, I can pay you 10 grand in 3 months.
Yeah,
It's
Probably not a smart move.
I mean, yeah, temporary relief is good, but yeah, that is pretty crazy. You would think that they would come up with something a little better than that, but
Well, remember modifications, right? I mean, all of us have been in the game that long. Take a step back, right, where they did, you know, modifications, wrap them in the back end of it, and everything else, and
they probably
recast
will
the
do that.
loans. Yeah, I'm sure some of that stuff.
eventually, though, I'm sure they're gonna get to that point where if they're asking for 10, 15, 20 grand from a borrower at the end of the forbearance period, they're like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I'm still living on my unemployment check.
Yeah, exactly. There's not gonna be a way for them to put that big chunk down. So
And you were saying unemployment earlier. You were talking about that. What was the new numbers around unemployment as far as what people could get on a monthly basis ish?
I don't know if it's state by state specific, but I know here it's not that much, you know. But hey, it probably helps people still pay their rent, get some groceries and stuff. But it's normally just $960, but because of the COVID, they upped it $600 more.
Yeah.
So it's around that $1,500.
So around $1,500. Yeah. So hey, I've been making $1,500 a month. I don't think I can pay for my $1,500 mortgage, unless your cost of living outside your mortgage is zero. But hey, there's electric.
definitely uncertain times, and I'm sure that's why the iBuyers are stopping their offers, and then I'm sure that's why Chase is increasing their lending standards, so.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, that's, I for one think that, their billions of dollars are definitely going to kind of come into play. And maybe being an optimist, I think that, I'm curious to see what those service fees are going to be. I'm curious to see what really the pulse of the sellers are. I think that's one of the biggest uncertainties that we don't know. Is I think that you can predict what an institution is going to do because it's a dollars and cents decision, where sellers make decisions off of emotion, right? I need to sell my house. I want to access my cash. Something is better than nothing. Bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So are they going to accept these offers and just kind of take their money and run? Especially for people that bought their house in 2011 for $100,000 less than they bought it, and they have that type of equity, and they'll just take their 50 G's now and run.
So what's their risk fee right now that they're running, or before the COVID?
That definitely ranges, but we saw service fees as low as 4% when you're underneath that $300,000 range, and that's where the iBuyers are doing really well because that's a really good offer and a low service fee. We saw them range anywhere up to 12%. 12% was pretty rare, but when you got into your 400,000s, 8 to 10 was pretty common.
Or even above 500,000, right? Like some of the Zillow fees and stuff like that. At that time, that's where they had bumped up quite a bit. There's certain zip codes like where they were going to have to hold them potentially where the forecasted sales time was 4+ months.
So if they start operating in May, what do you guys think it'll be?
It wouldn't surprise
like
me
8%?
It wouldn't surprise me under 300,000 that 3 to 5% fee is probably going to be more like 7 to 9, and then anything above 350, which is where you really see their service fees go higher. It wouldn't surprise me if it's going to be 10 to 15.
Yeah, I think it's going to be price point specific.
But I don't know.
I think it's going to be price point specific. I think they're going to be approaching properties 5 to 10% below market to begin with, and then an additional 8 to 15% fee. It won't surprise me if that's the case.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy times.
So,
see, right?
Yep.
Well, I think what's so crazy is we've all had there's been other pandemics that's been on the loose even in our lifetime, like the H1N1 and swine and all that. But I don't feel like there was so much uncertainty around it. It's just the uncertainty from COVID that's just unbelievable to me. I mean, literally tomorrow there could be some breaking news or some major event that we just were like, what? I can't think about a month ago or a month and a half ago it was when we were all sitting here in the office and the NBA shut down, hockey shut down, baseball shut down, and we're just like, how is this happening? And so, yeah, I think that's what the craziest part is, isn't it? And I think in 2 weeks from now, we'll have a little bit more clear picture on where the state of the market's going to be from a national level and local level. If the economy does not start opening back up in May, I think that's when we're going to really start to see the real estate market changing quite a bit.
Yeah,
that's my perspective.
Well, they have to. I mean, the reality of it is too is they have to keep open some alternative type financing. I actually just had a message come through right now on a deal that we were working to try to put together where the guy needed to do a bank statement loan. Literally they thought they had one source that they can still do alternative type of financing, and they said nope. They literally just suspended it this morning.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's
what I'm saying. Like you said, day to day.
Yeah,
that's really crazy.
Well, you got the unemployment numbers too. I'm watching those and seeing because once they open up the economy, it's not like It's not like these companies are going to start hiring a bunch of people. They're gonna take it slow.
Well, the crazy thing is if you think about some of these companies, they actually may be unveiling how effective they can be with less employees, people working at home, and things of that nature. So I'm curious, if some of these layoffs, because that's what I'm saying, right? Totally. Blame it on the economy. So, I think we all need to stay tuned. Stay on the up and up. Watch the numbers. Path is always math, and Any final thoughts?
Yeah, well, there was just one other hot topic that I thought was interesting that Jason just shared with us. The article they wrote about a software company called Offerpad that provides a personalized, simple squeeze page website for a realtor that can go.
Lead generation tool, right?
iBuyer offers for somebody to be able to see their options in one place, I guess, if you will. And it looks like Offerpad is suing Offerbarn over the word offer.
No.
That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, that one hits home.
That's we
don't know anything about that.
That's why we're Optvana now. So, interesting.
We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one and see how that goes. And I don't know if Offerbarn will no longer be in the market after too long. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, and I think this is an important, piece that you just brought out there, Keith, and why there are a lot of these companies like Offerbarn and, just there's a lot of cool new tools coming into the space, as we very much so know, is, one of the best ways for people to find out about it from homeowners that want to sell their house. Now, why not start with an offer, right? So these homeowners are reaching out to that, but less than 5%. This is, I don't know if this is exactly the numbers as we speak right now, but when we did the research at one point in time, it was less than 5% of the all iBuyer offers made on properties are accepted by homeowners. But what the cool number was over roughly 50% of all of those people that did not accept those offers ended up putting their house on the market within 6 months. And so you want to talk about a quality lead source, it's just that's what was there. And so I think that's why we see these types of platforms, kind of come into play, and I think we're going to continue to see them come into play. And not to mention, I think one of the biggest things we're all staunch on that is going to probably come into the marketplace is that contactless transaction, right? So technology, I think, is going to push us forward.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, like how Jason said, just with unemployment, let's say the economy starts going toward the right direction and businesses start opening more again, and like the hair salons. I'm just giving you an example. Like things that are closed right now open back up. Well, it's not like just things are going to be immediate. Well, I think once COVID's more under control and the media is let the public know, hey, there's not as much to fear, start going back to your normal ways, normal life. There's still going to be a lot of paranoid people. So this contactless transactions, it wouldn't surprise me if that becomes the next thing in real estate.
It's going to explode. It's the perspective of being able to elevate the efficiency, the transparency, and the effectiveness, all while doing it at potentially a lower cost for the consumer. It's literally a win on every facet. It's kind of a no-brainer. And like I said, with technology and software where it's what it's coming into, I think that's going to be the tip of the spear real soon.
Absolutely. All right.
Cool.
All right. Gotta click the list, right?
Yeah. Click the list, baby. All right. Well,
thanks for tuning in today.
On a team.
See you on the next one. We out.
Thanks for checking out the Zoodealio podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe so you are notified when we launch new podcasts. We'll catch you on the next one. How about that?